Nanda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 25, Text 11. Tvam tva gataham sharanam sharanyam swabhritya samsara tarokutaram jigyasayaham prakrite purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Devahuti continued, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you're the only person of whom to take shelter. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists, and inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman and between spirit and matter. So we have been hearing how Devahuti, in spite of so much sense enjoyment, she was frustrated. She said, I've enjoyed so much, I'm still feeling miserable. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. Because we are so entangled here in this material existence. And so she's saying, explain to me, what's the difference between spirit and matter, man and woman? What's going on? You are the only person of whom to take shelter. I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you're the only person of whom to take shelter. So we are always searching for shelter. In the material world, we are always searching for shelter, not only in the material world, even in the spiritual world, because we are the marginal energy. That is our position. Tathashta Shakti, the Jivatma, the Jiva is the Tathashta Shakti of the Supreme Lord. So we are taking shelter. But right now in this material world, we are taking shelter of the material body. We are taking shelter of our senses. We are taking shelter of our family, possessions, country, society. But whose shelter we should actually take? Anyone?
Take shelter of Krishna.
Jai, yes. Yeah, so here she's saying you're the only person to take shelter of. So Sankhya philosophy, as is well known, deals with Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or anyone who imitates the Supreme Personality of Godhead as an enjoyer, and Prakriti means nature. So who's the Prakriti and who's the Purusha? Purusha is the Supreme Lord, and Prakriti is nature. So Purusha is the Supreme Lord, but we are also trying to imitate the Supreme Lord. So we are becoming like pretending to be the Purusha. Huh? Because we are imitating him to be the enjoyer. In this material world, material nature is being exploited by the Purushas or the living entities. So how do we think we can enjoy is by exploiting Mother Nature. We don't know how to live in harmony with her because we are thinking, whatever I see belongs to me and it exists for my enjoyment. That's what the human nature is. And that's the reason that studies are shown, right? It's only if the human beings were not there anymore on this earth planet, everything would become again very, very beautiful and orderly manner. We are spoiling the ecosystem. Why? Because we are exploiting Mother Nature. Why? Because we think she exists for our enjoyment. So we are practically able to see it. We are experiencing it. The intricacies in the material world of the relationship of the Prakriti and Purusha, or the enjoyed and the enjoyer, is called samsara, or material entanglement. Material entanglement. What is this samsara? Samsara is living entities. Yes.
Sorry, can you explain the second line? The Purusha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or anyone who imitates the Supreme Personality of Godhead as an enjoyer, and Prakriti means nature.
Yeah. So Prakriti is nature. Mother Nature is Prakriti. We are also nature. We are also Prakriti, actually. But we are pretending to be the Supreme Lord. We are pretending to be the enjoyer. So we are pretending to be the Purusha. Purusha is only the Supreme Lord. and all his energy is Prakriti. All his energy are Prakriti. So we are also his energy. But we are thinking, we are pretending, we are imitating that we are the Purusha.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
And so this samsara, why are we here in the material world? Because we are thinking we are the Purusha and we are wanting to exploit this Mother Nature. That's why we are entangled in this material world. We're continuing to live there, although we have nothing to do with it. We are the spirit souls. So we have nothing to do here in this material world. Because we are thinking, I'm the Purusha, I need to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy her. That's what's keeping us here. And so what is this material nature? We say, no, we don't want earth, water, air, fire, ether. What am I going to enjoy with this? But if you see our possessions, what are they made of? They're just different combinations of these material elements. What is our body made of? Different combination of these material elements. The bodies of our families, the bodies of our friends. It's just different combination of these material elements. So Devahuti, she wanted to cut the tree of material entanglement, and she found the suitable weapon in Kapila Muni. The tree of material existence is explained in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita as an Ashvatha tree. So 15th chapter, Yoga of the Supreme Person, Purushottam Yoga. And so this tree is described. The root is up and the branches are down. Now, have we ever seen a tree where the roots are up and the branches are down? We have always seen the roots are down and branches are up. We have never seen a inverted tree, but we have seen it. Anyone knows where have we seen it?
It's the reflection, right?
Yes, that's right. It's the reflection. And we see in the reflection in the water, then the tree is, the branches are down and root is up. It is recommended here that one has to cut the root of this material existential tree with what? And Krishna says, cut it with the axe of detachment. This is how we can cut this tree. Now, if we think of a detachment, then what is attachment? Attachment involves Prakriti and Purusha. So this is the reason why we have to understand material nature and what is our role in this material nature, so that we can cut with the weapon of knowledge, cut this tree, our attachment to this tree. This attachment involves Prakriti and Purush. The living entities are trying to lord it over material nature. Since the conditioned soul takes material nature to be the object of his enjoyment, and he takes the position of the enjoyer, he is therefore called Purusha. So we are very attached to this material world. We have been living here in the material world since time immemorial. We can't remember when we came here. Millions and millions of births we have been here. And what is this attachment? So our attachment to this material nature is very deep, very deep. That's why we have to understand what is this attachment, then we can cut it out. And so what is attachment? We are always thinking she belongs to me. This material nature belongs to me, and so I need to enjoy her. So then Devahuti questioned Kapila Muni, for she knew that only he could cut her attachment to this material world. The living entities in the guises of men and women are trying to enjoy the material energy. Therefore, in one sense, everyone is Purush, because Purusha means enjoyer and Prakriti means enjoyed. So we may say, oh, but I'm in the body of a woman, and so I'm Prakriti, and somebody is in the body of a man, so he's Purush. No, all of us are Prakriti, because we are the energy of the Supreme Lord. The only Purusha is the Supreme Lord, actually. But because we have this tendency to enjoy, we are imitating the Supreme Lord. We are imitating. So even though we are in bodies of women, we are pretending to be the Purusha. We are pretending to be the enjoyer. Is that okay? So it's not based on this outside bodies that we can see. It's our consciousness. Yeah. Our consciousness is, oh, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy. So we are pretending to be the Purusha. In this material world, both the so-called man and so-called woman are imitating the real Purush. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the enjoyer in the transcendental sense, whereas all others are Prakriti. So what do we mean by saying so-called man and so-called woman? Why is Prabhupada using the word so-called man and so-called woman? Anyone?
So means all human beings, right?
Yeah,
Men, women are
but
called.
yeah, but
Because we
also
all are
because some
jivas, we all are souls. So
souls,
that's
yes.
just the exterior body that we have got
Yes,
due to our
yes. We are
desires and
thinking, oh,
karma.
yes, that's right. We are thinking, I'm a woman, I'm a man, but we are all souls. We are all souls. And what are we trying to do? We are trying to imitate the real Purush. We are trying to imitate the real Purush. And who's the real Purush? He's the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the enjoyer in the transcendental sense, whereas all others are Prakriti. So the living entities are considered Prakriti. So we are Prakriti. In Bhagavad Gita, matter is analyzed as apara or inferior nature, whereas beyond this inferior nature, there is another superior nature, the living entities. So Bhagavad Gita speaks, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there is para prakriti and apara prakriti. Apara prakriti is his external energy, his material energy, inferior nature, apara prakriti, and para prakriti, superior nature. Who's that? We, the living entities, we, the souls. Living entities are also prakriti or enjoyed, but under the spell of Maya, the living entities are falsely trying to take the position of enjoyers. So this is why we are in illusion. This is what this Maya is all about. We are thinking, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the Purusha, and whatever I see, I must enjoy, without trying to understand what is my true position. We are not trying to understand who am I truly and why do I exist? What is the, and when I say who am I truly and why do I exist, I don't mean to the body, but means to the soul. Why does the soul exist? What's the reason for the soul to exist? I am the soul, so why am I existing? That is the science of self-realization. So we are parts and parcels of Krishna, parts and parcels of Krishna. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Mama Vamso Jiva Bhuta Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mama Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That these living entities are my eternal fragmental parts. So it's like a relationship. Why does a father have a child? You know, the father has a child so that he can have a loving relationship with the child. The father becomes the horse for the child. The father becomes a servant for the child. He becomes a nanny for the child. He makes money for he does everything for the child. So who's actually the servant? The father or the child? It's the father. He's serving the child. But why is the father doing it? Because he's feeling love for the child. He's feeling that joy being together with the child. He looks at the child and he's feeling happy. Oh, my dear child. And because of that, he's doing everything for the child. Similarly, Krishna, we are all children of God. And he's the one who's providing us, he's maintaining us. And we are like, no, 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 I don't want anything to do with you. I'm going to do my own thing. He's the one, he's saying, just come back to me. Don't loiter here around here. But we are, no, I am the one. I am the Supreme Lord. So that is the cause of samsara bandha or conditional life. Devahuti wanted to get out of conditional life and place herself in full surrender. So Devahuti said, I've had enough of this, because she went, like, she enjoyed, really enjoyed. That's the reason so much detail of the enjoyment was given. Why? So we can understand. It was not given in a just short one line, or she enjoyed. But there was given so much details of how much enjoyment, what kind of enjoyment, because we also might have somewhere deep one desire, or maybe I didn't get this, or I didn't enjoy in this way. That's why I'm unhappy. But we heard how she enjoyed so much. Now she's like, I've had enough. I want to get out of this conditional life. So she surrendered. She surrendered to the Lord, to Kapila, Lord Kapila. The Lord is Sharanya, which means the only worthy personality of whom one can fully surrender because he is full of all opulences. Sharanya. Sharanya means the only worthy personality to whom one can fully surrender. And why? Because he's full of all opulences, all opulences. If anyone actually wants relief, the best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if we really, so here the words Prabhupada is saying, if one actually wants relief, now we may pretend we want relief, but we want to continue enjoying in the material world, then what will happen? Yeah. Oh, Krishna, save me, but I want to continue to enjoy here. So we don't really actually want relief. But if we really want to, just find like a permanent solution, I don't want to be in this body anymore, in this material world anymore. I want to be situated who I truly am. Then the best course, surrender to the Supreme Lord. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya. He says that, surrender unto me. He says, I'm the Supreme Lord, surrender unto me. And then we say, no, you're not the Supreme Lord. No, you're something else is beyond you is the Supreme Lord. We try to overthink things. We try to complicate the matter, whereas it's very simple. So then again, we have to check what's our intention. Do we really want to find out the truth? Do we really want to accept the truth, or pretend that we are, or pretend? But pretend we are not going to be fooling anyone else, but just our own self. So the Lord is also described here as Sadharma Vidam Varishtham. This indicates that of all transcendental occupations, the best occupation is eternal loving service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharma is sometimes translated as religion, but that is not exactly the meaning. Dharma actually means that which one cannot give up, that which is inseparable from oneself. So we think Dharma, we say Hindu Dharma, or we say something. We refer Dharma as faith, or we think Dharma is religion, something like that. We are thinking Dharma is faith, Hindu Dharma or Christian Dharma, like that. But that's faith. But what is Dharma actually? Something that we cannot give up. It is inseparable from us. The warmth of fire is inseparable from fire. So what's the meaning of fire if there is no heat? How can it be fire then? Fire because there is the warmth there. So warmth is called the dharma or nature of fire. Similarly, Sad-dharma means eternal occupation. That eternal occupation is engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So Sad-dharma, Sanatan Dharma. When we say Sanatan Dharma, what is the Sanatan Dharma of every living entity? When we say living entity, we do not mean the bodies. We do not refer to the bodies. We mean the soul. So what is the Sanatan Dharma? Eternal occupation. What is the soul always doing? That is something. Eternal occupation means not just that you go occupation, that you go out and make some money. We think occupation is like that, a doctor occupation or nurse occupation. No, occupation means what are we occupied with? Occupied with. What are we always eternally occupied with? What are we always doing? So, and that eternal occupation, the original, eternal means something which cannot be stopped. The real occupation is engagement in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So when we say transcendental, it is not on the material platform. It is on the spiritual platform. It's on the absolute platform. Service in the material world appears like a very horrible word to us. Why should I be the servant? It appears disgusting to us. It appears the lowest to us. But because the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world, whatever is low here is very, very high in the spiritual world, is the highest. So that is the eternal occupation of every soul, transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord. And that begins on the point of liberation. We have to be liberated to be able to do that. The purpose of Kapila Dev Sankhya philosophy is to propagate pure, uncontaminated devotional service. Pure, uncontaminated devotional service begins from the platform of liberation. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, Aham Brahmasmi. When one has realized the position, I am an eternal soul, I am not this body, then one picks up this pure devotional service, uncontaminated. And therefore is addressed here as the most important personality among those who know the transcendental occupation of the living entity. So Kapila Muni came to give us this knowledge. So he's called most important personality. Any comments? Was the idea okay of the Prakriti and the Purusha?
Yeah, that was very clear now.
Yeah, and about the Sanatan Dharma, the occupation.
Yeah. So that is like, the sugar, right? The sugar has the dharma sweetness, so you cannot take the sweetness away from sugar.
That's right.
So that's same like us, that
That's
our dharma is to serve, right? That's what they're trying to tell here.
Yes, our dharma is, eternally our dharma is transcendental loving service to the Lord. But that same dharma, that loving service to the Lord, because we are in the material world and we think we are the enjoyer, so why should we serve the Lord? It's become perverted and we say we are the enjoyer. So it's become converted into lust. The same love is converted into lust now. Because in this material atmosphere, which is a perversion of the spiritual atmosphere. But yeah, eternal, when we say eternal, means never stops, never stops. That's our eternal position, service. Now we may say if it never stops, but we are trying to enjoy, then how come that means it has stopped now? Means right now I'm not serving, then how is it eternal? Then anyone?
Pardon, I didn't get it.
So if we are saying eternal, so eternal, so eternally we are serving the Supreme Lord. So eternally our nature is to serve. But now we'll say, but I'm the enjoyer, I'm enjoying. So that means it's not eternal. Then how can we explain that?
We are serving our family in the material world. We are serving all our families, our loved ones. So we are still doing our eternal service. That is like the occupation. That's the eternal occupation of the soul.
And if I say I don't even have a family, I don't serve anyone, I live
You're serving
alone.
the senses.
That's right. We serve our senses. We serve our mind. We serve our false ego.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. So shall we stop here for today?
Yes.
Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in.